I don't know. I just have a random piece of paper. I found it and I was like, "Ooh, let me do something different. Let me do something cute." Okay, so today I'm not doing any tarot readings. I am going to do like a very, very, very like simply brief introduction to how planets work in astrology. Let me see if I can close. I can't close chat. How sad. Okay, so let me see. I had written up like a little bit of like a this is how these planets work in Discord. So I'm gonna pretty much reiterate what those mean, and I'm gonna try to go over them. I will make separate videos on like my interpretation of how these planets work together, but this is just like a piece of the puzzle that is astrology. It's fun. All right, so we have about 11, 10 like major bodies, major celestial bodies that we astrology tends to use. We do sometimes include like some of the bigger meteors and like probably um like the occasional meteor that actually not meteor like meteoroid, the thing that flies around the earth, not the moon, but like it's like the comets. It's like that comet thing. That's what I meant to say. Meteor, it's a comet. Occasionally that's used, but like it's not all the time because of how infrequently it comes by. So we have 11, 10, 12, depending on what it is. We don't use Earth because that's where we're on. And yeah, so we're gonna start off. I don't know how to segue into it, but like that's how we're gonna start off. All right, so we have 11. We have the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and that's 10. There's like 11, 12. I usually use Chiron. I don't use Ceres, and there's two more meteors, but I just don't use them. I do use Chiron more than Ceres, but I'll get into both of those like towards the end because they're kind of like really really small. They don't have as much of, they have an impact, but it's not as much as the other planets. So the first one is the sun. The sun, it is kind of like representative of the ego, the adult version of you, how you act. It's the outline of your identity. Like it's kind of like the I guess you can say the building blocks of your identity. And it's kind of like how you portray yourself. Like it's not the very first thing that people see, but it is kind of like the baseline default thing that people do see. So it's not the very first thing, but it is something you do tend to fall back on, and you do tend to like try to express yourself with um whatever sign the sun is and whatever house the sun is in. I'll do two separate videos for signs and houses because mainly because I just did like a big old info dump on the planets, and I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna record this and just dip. That's it. So yeah, the sun will never retrograde. In my notes, I have it as Gatorade because somebody's like, "Is Mercury in Gatorade?" No, it's not in Gatorade. It's in, I think there's only two planets in retrograde right now, but the sun will never retrograde, and so will the moon. The moon will also never retrograde. I should have not. I should have never written Gatorade because I'm going to say Gatorade. Oh no. Oops. Oh well. Right off the bat, the sign that the the sun is a kind of like the ruler of is Leo because we're that bright, I guess. I don't know. But like that's the sun is usually like kind of like it's a ruler for Leos, or Leos are the rulers of the sun because Leos tend to be um leaders of ego. Like we tend to have a big ego. That's what people know us for. Up next is the moon, which is the child version of you, how you react, how you nurture yourself, kind of like the home. Like if you how do I explain this? It's not like the home home, but it is kind of like if like at the end of the day when everybody's like not around you, like how do you act as yourself? Like how is not your true nature, but like your inner nature. So the sun is kind of like what you portray out into like the world, and the moon is kind of like what you portray only to yourself, and maybe a select few of people that do actually end up seeing your inner child. So the moon, that ruler is Cancer, and it's not the disease, it is the zodiac sign. It is a very like kind of homey planet. It's not a planet, but it is a celestial body. Um, it's That's pretty much it. Like the moon also never retrogrades. The one thing it does do is since it's so close to the earth, it changes signs and houses very frequently. It's like every 2.5 days that it frequently just goes from one sign to the next. And it's not like in a random order. It's like actually like, okay, here's Aries, now here's Gemini, Taurus, all the other signs. I don't remember them off the top of my head, like in order, but they go one by one. And depending on the phase of the moon and the zodiac sign that it's in, it kind of how to explain this? It reflects in like your daily like things happening. So for instance, just last week we had I think the moon was in like it was either waxing or waning, but it was like just as the full moon was kind of like, going away, and it was in Cancer. And a fun thing, the when it's in Cancer, not all the time, but when it is in Cancer and it's in like a specific phase of the moon, sometimes it can trigger menstruation. Which is a nice way to put it. It can trigger menstruation, and it doesn't matter like what phase a woman is in her during her like cycle. Sometimes they just like bleeding happens, like you'll miss, like women tend to not, they won't tend to miss it, but sometimes they will miss their when they're supposed to start bleeding, or when they're supposed to end, or if it's like it's not supposed to be it's like a scheduled day where they have to menstruate. Sometimes they'll just have spotting, which happened to me last week, and I was freaking out because I was like, "Oh my god, I just had it! What the hell's going on?" But no, sometimes that's affected by how the moon comes, like how what phase yeah, what phase the moon is in and then what sign. I think it's down to the house too, but I'd have to double check on that. So yeah, that's the moon. The TLDR, it's kind of like the kid version. It's how you react in your home, how you nurture yourself. It's also connected to the mother. So depending on what sign, and I believe the house too, that the moon is in when you're born, it can affect your mother, like your relationship to your mother. So up next is Mercury. Mercury is the messenger, communicator. It shows how you express your ideas, how you process info. This one retrogrades every 3 to 4 times a year. It is one of the planets that has kind of been like, excuse me, like kind of memed, where when we go into it, you have a lot of. I know on Snapchat they have a filter specifically for Mercury retrograde that goes, "Is this retrograde over yet?" Or like Mercury is in retrograde. It was like something along that lines. But this is the planet that we tend to happen to know of every couple, like every other month or every 3 or 4 months, we'll get like some like technical difficulty happening. So in the last retrograde, we had in my house, my mom's car stopped working for the entirety of that retrograde, which was like coincidence, probably. But it happens every single retrograde. Not her car specifically, but like something in the house will malfunction. I know my laptop was like bugging out, like mad. It was bugging out super bad in the last retrograde. And cool fact, this last Mercury retrograde was in Scorpio. So as it was, going backwards from our field of vision on Earth, It was in Scorpio. So during that time, we had a lot of things going on. We had a lot of like secrets from everywhere and anywhere and everywhere like coming out of the woodworks. So a good example that I believe everybody knows by now is the election scandal thing going on. Obviously, we can't say it because of YouTube rules, but there's another one going on where one of the candidates that just recently won the election, his son is uh his son was caught, and I think it was just a headline. I'm not sure if he was under investigation, but he was caught finding doing dealings outside of the United States, and that's a pretty good example for a retrograde that can a Mercury retrograde that can happen. And especially with Scorpio, because Scorpios tend to be known for like not secretive things, like kind of secretive, but kind of also like intense. Like Scorpios are very intense. They're super super intense, but like it's just they're like they pull out secrets from you one way or another, and that retrograde happened to pull out like quite a bit of secrets. Aside from that specific, that specific instance, that's like a good example that I could give that would make somewhat of a some sense of like how to explain that retrograde happening that deals with like the real world instead of just like, oh, this is what a planet does. No, this is like there's actual real stuff happening here. So yeah, that's Mercury. Like you're gonna have issues when it does go retrograde. You do have issues with communication. You do have issues with like um teleportation. Oh no, I forgot the word. It's when you transportation. There you go. Communication, transportation. You will have people coming back into your life, like old friends. You'll have like old family visiting, like just people from the past. They kind of come back to visit for a little while. They won't stay, but it's just for that period of time. Another good example, the last Mercury retrograde we had, it was in Cancer. I believe it was in Cancer, and I met my cousin again, and we hadn't seen each other for like a long time. And when Mercury retrograde started happening, we we hung out at a family friend's ranch, and we were like, "Oh my god, we haven't seen each other in a long time." So during that retrograde, we would always like hang out together, and we'd always like we would catch up on what was going on, and we would try to like let me see if I can stand up or sit up straight because my back hurts. I'm crouching, and we would always like catch up on like what we're doing. Like she wasn't doing college, but she was doing like a trade, and I was, here I am still doing college. I just got out of it from like a week ago for the semester, unfortunately. But yeah, like they're all kind of themed, and it's pretty cool for Mercury retrogrades. Okay, up next is Venus. Now Venus, to make it super super simple, for like to give you like a 3-word synopsis that's like dummy simple is love and money. Like the most simplest way you can get it is love and money. So to dig into Venus, it kind of dives more into like sentiments, valuation, like how you value things, the little pleasures in life, how money comes into like how you receive money or how like not how you handle money. It does include that, but like it's kind of like how money flows towards you, and to an extent how money flows away from you. It also includes like how we treat partners or relationships. It doesn't have to be a romantic all the time, but it's generally like how you treat your friends, your family, your romantic partners, your friends with benefits, whatever. Whatever relationship you tend to have with people. This planet, it doesn't retrograde as frequently as Mars, excuse me, as Mercury. This one actually retrogrades once every year and a half. So we just had one recently. It was like mid-May to I think the end was like towards the end of July or June. I have them in my calendar somewhere, but it's in my backpack. But it was pretty recent. So the next one that should be coming up wouldn't be till I want to say 2022. I want to say, but I'm probably wrong. And that's okay. It's a learning experience. But yeah, um, what do I have with this sign? With Venus, I have Venus and Virgo, and I have an astrology friend. And she told me it's not a good sign to have. Like it's not a good Venus sign to have. Like, to be born with that astrology sign with that planet going on. Cuz Venus Virgo, sorry, not Venus, Virgo, when it comes to love, Virgos tend to be very either like all in or just not at all in. And that's what you can sum up with my at least the romantic part. It's either all in or all out. Like there's no like, oh yeah, kind of maybe. No, it's either all in or all out. And that's what I'm experiencing now. I don't believe there's any like I have to look at my chart, but like there's like weird stuff going on that I'm just like, nope, I'm clocked out. That's it. That's enough. I've had enough. I'm not like that's my current mood. I'm not like dating anybody. There's nobody coming in. There's nobody coming out. If they ask, I'm just gonna be like, nope, rejection. That's it. But I think that's just the 2020 mood because we've been hard hit with like everything was in retrograde. That was this year's been wild. Jesus. But yeah, so Venus also goes through beauty because the goddess Venus is the goddess of beauty and I think one more thing. And yeah, it tends to help like not help, but like it does tend to how do I explain this? It helps with how like you view things as beautiful. So Venus, Virgo and Venus, what I have my personal experience with, I do tend to value more useful things. Virgos tend to value like more practical, like functional things and um fashionable things. Like it depends on how you like not like I don't want to say other planets and other uh aspects and not transitions planetary no, it's just kind of like a Virgo thing. Like we tend to like things that are more functional. And hello, I'm going over astrology right now. And yeah, we just tend to like functional things. And when we give people when we tend to gift people things, we want to make sure that it's always like functional for them. Like we value function over fashion. That's what I should have said instead of going on this 2 minute rant over like, oh, it's functional. No. But yeah, that's for Virgos. For Venus, it's just like to simplify it again, it's love and money. To make it like very, very easy to remember and simplified. That's pretty much what it is. Um, Up next is Mars. A cool fact about Mars: the Romans used to plan when they would go to war based on when Mars, like what sign, and I think house. I believe it was house too, but I'm not too sure. I'll double check on that. But they used to go to war whenever like Mars was in a specific zodiac sign. And if I were to have an idea of what it would be, I think it would be Aries, because Aries are well known to be like very um not hotheads, but they're very very passionate about what they do. Like they're very like raw energy into what they want to do. So yeah, Mars goes over action, raw energy, how we express our anger and what makes us angry, like our desire and our passion, like what we strive to go after, like what will get us out of our bed every day. Um Sexual desires. It is also kind of like that leftover animal instinct, which is kind of like how do I explain this? It's kind of like that nature instinct that we all have inside. Because while we're all human, we all like. Hold on, I gotta fix myself. While we're all human, we don't have a like whole defining thing that makes us entirely human. So I have Mars in the sixth house. In the sixth house, I have Mars in Leo. So to make that like easier to not easy to remember, but like to make it somewhat relatable, it's kind of like Leos tend to be sociable, and it is also a fire sign. So like depending on depending on the situations, like when I know a funny story that I have when I had when I was trying out for my work, the current workplace that I work at, we were required to swim and we needed to swim 500 yards. So like this happened back in July. When I went to swim, I had all the heebie-jeebies and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get this through. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this." And the like I hit the water and I'm swimming and it's only like a lap or two and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I got this. I got this." And then like I'm going it's not even like the full like 3, like handful of laps that we have to do. Like I'm barely in the third one and then I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm tired. Oh no. Oh no." But yeah, like a fire sign in Mars. Mars tends to be like a fire, kind of like a fire planet. It works well, but like yeah, it works very well with fire signs. I'm actually not too sure how it would work with an like a Libra, like Mars and Libra. I don't know how that would work out because Aries and Libra tend to be like they're opposites of each other. So I don't know. I actually don't know how that would work out. But yeah, not to derail the whole thing, but Mars kind of controls like the energy, controls your desires, um, your action to cap it all off. Your like how you deal with anger and what gets you like all hyped up and angry and all that. But yeah, that's Mars for you. It's kind of like the that friend that's like pretty passionate about everything to make it easy. This is a meteor. I will do that towards the end. Jupiter is how do I explain this one? Jupiter's expansion. That's what I remembered. Okay. One of the ways that we remember Jupiter is, or that I remember Jupiter is that it expands. Like this is how you learn. This is how you like not process things, but this is how you know. Like this is how you expand your knowledge. It's kind of like the way I'm trying to get at. Um, it's also how we express our generosity and tolerance. How we learn and discover. Hex expansion. And it's also like kind of like a luck planet. So depending on where your what sign it is and like down to the degree and what house it is, like that's where the luck like that's where you're most likely to be lucky in those situations. So I have Jupiter in Gemini and Gemini is kind of like a hands-on sign. So that's I'm a pretty hands-on type of person. I can't well, to point it to college, I can't really like do lecture halls and I can't really do a lot of like math. Anything past calc, I cannot do, or pre-calc even. I can't do that at all. I'm just not good with math, or it might not be good with math. It's just like however they're teaching me, it's just not. I'm not able to grasp it like that. So yeah, like my instance, Jupiter and Gemini, like we're pretty hands-on type of person. We're pretty like I need to feel the thing. I need to under like I need to touch the thing and see the thing and hear the thing in order to understand what the thing is. So that explains why I have trouble with math because I can't touch it or hear it. But yeah, Jupiter is kind of like your luck, your expansion, your like how you learn, how you understand the world. and how you like kind of grow yourself out to, better understand the world. That is Jupiter. Oh, it retrogrades annually. I don't remember if I told what Mars does. Mars retrogrades every 2 years. I already said Venus. Let me see. Up next is Saturn. Saturn is kind of like the the father. It's kind of like the father figure. How we have the moon as the mother figure. Saturn is the father figure. So with that said, generally this is a sign where you'll have either issues or like it can be a blend of issues and like good things that happen with between you and your father figure. Um, Saturn is also kind of like the ruler for karma, boundaries, limits, time, structure, self control, fears, responsibilities. Um, Pretty much it. That's pretty much how it goes. I don't really know too much about Saturn. I can't remember what sign my Saturn is or the house, but I do know that I have had issues with my dad when I was much younger. The the Saturn sign, whatever sign it's in and whatever house it's in, that usually kind of like it's most prominent during your younger years. Like I want to say up to like teens. That's what you're gonna like deal with until you're like your teens with your dad or with your father figure. It doesn't have to necessarily be like your biological dad, but that's generally what you have issues with. And then after that, like as the signs, as Saturn moves through the signs, that's when it kind of just like goes away a little bit. And Saturn retrogrades just about every year. Up next is Uranus. Uranus is a pretty fun one. Oh, I think I didn't say what Saturn was. I think Saturn, if I remember correctly, is the home planet for Capricorn, not Cancer, Capricorn. Okay, up next is Uranus. Uranus's zodiac sign, house, zodiac ruler is Aquarius. Now, Uranus is known for like instigation, change and reform, how we rebel, ingenuity and innovation. So kind of think like tech, kind of like new advances in like technological stuff. Let me see. Also in like individual freedoms. So I actually don't know what sign Uranus is in this year because I do have a feeling that in the upcoming years we're gonna have like a major thing going on. At least in the United States. It's a major thing going on, but I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready. But yeah, again, I don't remember what my sign is for Uranus. Um, I believe this one is a kind of like a generational thing because since it's like towards the outer like part of our solar system, it doesn't really change signs as much. It takes more like of a longer time to do that, but it might not be for like a long time. It's probably like a couple years and then it switches signs. Um, it might actually be 1 year. Can't remember. But yeah, so Uranus retrogrades annually. So you're never gonna have in one point of time where nothing is gonna be in retrograde. You might have it for a couple days, but then like something's gonna go back into retrograde. I know this year we had, like I said earlier, like we had like like everything was in retrograde this year, which was great. Oh, 2020. We love you. Okay, up next is Neptune. Neptune, if I remember correctly, is the ruler for Pisces. It is like the idea and theme for Neptune is intuition and enlightenment, kind of like the dream world, like where you get your dreams, inspiration, psychic recession, wow, recession, psychic reception, illusion, confusion, and just like pretty much anything to do with I don't want to say spirituality, but I do want to like it's more like to make it like stupid simple, like your third eye type of thing going on. Um, I know that I have Neptune and Pisces, and that shit really fucks you up. It really messes you up. It's bad. Was not bad. Oh, funny thing about Corona. Um, every 100 years we get this like specific conjunction. I don't remember if it's Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn or in Aquarius specifically, but something lines up in Aquarius, and it always has to deal with like some type of virus, like a major pandemic, like virus that induces a pandemic like this. So the last 100 years, which happened to be 1920 or 1918, around that time, we had the Spanish flu, and just around that time, we had like a similar conjunction going on. So if you time travel like back another 100 years, I can't remember what that last virus was. It probably was like bubonic plague or something, or something or another. But like like it affected the whole world because of those conjunctions. And like the next major pandemic we're gonna have is gonna be like 2120. So it's gonna be in the next 100 years. But yeah, like it doesn't like astrology will give you clues about what's going to happen. It won't give you like exactly outright. It's not going to spell it out for you. Like, yeah, 2020, we're gonna have coronavirus. We're gonna have I don't know, killer murderous hornets going on, or I'm trying to think what else we had this year. A crazy election year for America. Um, riots. I don't know. Just like it's not gonna pinpoint like this is what's gonna happen specifically, but it will show you like an idea of what's supposed to happen. But yeah, that was a blurge of coronavirus. I actually don't know how long this. I don't know if it's one planet or two, but however long this planet stays in, or this um transit is, or like aspect or conjunction or whatever it is, I don't know how long it will last. It might be just about 2 years. It might be 1 year. I don't know specifically. I'm just kind of like dipping my toes into astrology, but I do know that the last one we had it's kind of started in 1918, and it didn't really exactly end until like 1920ish. But right after that, we also had like the Roaring Twenties. So whatever happens after that, we might just have like um, a big splurge of prosperity until I don't know 2030s, which is when if you back it up 100 years, it's kind of like we had a stock market crash. I really hope we don't get that because I'm not ready for that. I'll look into it and see how it goes. But yeah, so to circle back to Neptune, um, like I said before, I have Neptune in Pisces, and this year alone, I've had the most vivid dreams. I've had the most like wildest dreams. I've had like so many crazy dreams this year. I dreamt one. It was like middle of the year. I dreamt that I was in a field, and there was like it was an all grassy field, and there was mountains like on either side of where you would see. And suddenly there was this like big black cloud of like fire and ash. And I'm not saying there's gonna be like an apocalyptic type of deal, but it was kind of like the theme you could get from it was where it's kind of like flushing out like the old, and you have to like forcibly move into the new, or forcibly move away from whatever's causing all that like you know bad stuff going on. So yeah, so there was this big ass cloud going on, and I was like talking to some bugs. I was talking to these like weird little bugs, and I wanted to save them, but they flew off into the fire, into the clouds, and I was like, ah! So I turn around and there's this like mall type of thing. So I run into the mall and it turns out like it was a portal of some sort. And like I close the door behind me and I'm looking at the door and I'm seeing that like there's no clouds like past the building and I'm like, the hell's going on? So I walk around the little plaza thing and there's like Pokemon there. Like they look like Pokemon. I'm pretty sure they're not because it's super weird how dreaming works. I will. Oh, I want to do another video on that. Not another video, but I want to do a separate video on how dreaming works because it's super cool. I had a friend explain it to me. Super cool. But yeah, so to get back to the dream, I was following this group, and they were calling me Emily. Um, so I was just kind of following them, and we're supposed to go to like this because it was like a little plaza and then apartments. So we went to this like one specific apartment room place type of deal, and we like I just got the key and I just put it in the lock and I barely opened the door and then I woke up and I was like, dude, I wanted to see what the hell was going on in the dream. But yeah, it's like it was a really wild dream. But I got from that we were kind of like not ascending, but we were kind of yeah, I can say ascending. We were just moving like as an entire and it sounds very conspiracy theory, but like as an entire like as humanity, we were all kind of ascending in one way or another. Like it could be dimensions, it could be like um kind of like leveling up, I guess you can say. I feel like I sound like the there's like these Instagram pages that I followed over the summer, and and they you get that like conspiracy theory slash like spiritualism thing going off of them. And one I remember one of them was talking about like, yeah, we're gonna get into like the fifth dimension, and we're gonna do we're upgrading, everybody's upgrading, and I'm like, I just came to click on the art. I just like the crystals in the art, but thanks for the info. But yeah, um, that was a dream that the message that I took from it was like we're all ascending in a way. Um, but yeah, Neptune has been giving me like this specific transit that's going on right now. It's been giving me like crazy, stupid, wild dreams. They're not stupid, but they're just crazy, wild dreams. Like just last night, I dreamt about. I don't remember if I said it. It's probably like the third time that I say it now. I dreamt about the vice president, the new one that's coming in, the new one that's coming in, and she was like yelling at everybody. She was yelling in people's ears, and she got to me, and she was like behind me, but she was yelling in my ear. And I wanted to like talk to police about that. I was like, "Hey, do you think you can, get her out of here or do something about it?" And they were like, "We can't do anything about it, but you can file a report on it." And I turned to I looked to my left, and there's a bunch of other people filing reports on her. And I was supposed to sit down and do that, but then I saw like old friends of mine, like I'm talking like middle school, elementary school type of old friends, and I started talking to them and hanging out to them, and then I went to like some other room, and I just never did the report, and then it was super weird. It was very very weird. It was unusual. Um, and then like I think a week or two ago, I had like a dream about a biblically accurate angel. I have a live stream on that. Like I did a I did a tarot reading for that because I was like, what the hell's going on in this dream? So yeah, like to give like a too long didn't listen. Um I was going to sleep with this one guy and we were about to sleep together and I saw an angel coming in and I saw a light coming through the door and I was like, hey, somebody's here. And then out pops this like biblically accurate angel with a toy. Um like it's just carrying a toy and like it was giving me the toy and I was like, all right, cool. I don't know what to do with this, but nice. And yeah, that was pretty much like the too long didn't too long didn't listen part of the story. Yeah, I had that happen and then I hadn't like I just been having crazy dreams this year. I think I went too long on Neptune. Whoops. um but yeah, that's what the No, okay, so the angel looked like a coin. Like it kind of looks compressed. Like I'm pretty sure it was there was one that like um how do I explain this? When people dream, usually they kind of like get transported to another world and then like not another world but like another like dimension, world, realm type thing, the dream world, realm, whatever it is. And sometimes there's like entities that are like too like they're just too like they're too complex to understand. They're too complex for a human to that's like exact how do I explain this? They're too complex for us to process. So sometimes how they present themselves is like very simple things that kind of give the idea of what they're supposed to be. But since we can't process them, it's kind of like, all right, this is what it looks like. So in my case, I didn't have just one. I had like two or three biblically accurate angels come in to my dream, and they were just like they were literally just like coins, like different colored coins. Oh, I can't you can't even see it. They were different colored coins, and they were just kind of floating with that like that angelic light in the background. But the coins they weren't like they had designs like I guess minted is the word that I'm looking for. Like they had designs on the coins, but they just never flipped. Like they never rotated like when you flip, when you flick a coin and it just, does a spinny thing. They never did that. It was just like one side of the coin. I can't remember what the designs were. I do know that one had like kind of like chevron type of deals, like little arrows on the top half of one coin, and there was like some weird design. I don't remember what it is, but like past that, there was more designs going on. Um, I don't know enough details to necessarily like to actually draw them out, but if I should have drawn them before. Oh, I met an ancestor in a dream. I forgot about that. I was walking with an old friend. I need to do like just an entirely separate segment on dreams. Like I should do that. This was supposed to be a hey, this is what signs do. This is what they like. This is how they are, and this is what they do. No, this is turning into like dream stuff. Okay. I mean, it's my live stream, so I'll do whatever. So this dream that I had about an ancestor, I didn't even know she was an ancestor. Like it was like I had to ask my astrology friend, and she was like, "Yeah, that's an ancestor." Like she did a reading for me, and she was like, "That's an ancestor for you," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I dreamt that like my astrology friend, it was me, and then like two other people. We were kind of just walking around this like road thing, but we were trying to go to the very end of the road, and towards the end of the road, there was this like it led into the beach, like into a would you call it a deck? I guess you would call it a deck where you like the port, kind of like a port thing. And we were supposed to walk down there. A 2D being seeing a 3D object. See lines when we see the yeah. It's like that. That's how it kind of works for the dream world or for when humans see more out there things going on. But yeah, to get back to this to the ancestor dream, we were supposed to walk to the other side of the deck, and I stopped by like this little like house type of deal. Like it was kind of like a little like water garden type thing. So I was like, oh, let me just peep in here and see what's up. So I go into the little house and I'm just kind of like looking through all these plants because there's a bunch of different plants going on. There's a bunch of little plants in that little house. I remember seeing aloe, cactus. Let me see. I saw like little trays of wet dirt, and then there was a bunch of different little plants. Like there's aloe, there's cactus, there's a bunch of other different types of plants. I think there was like a big leafy one, not a monstera, but like thin stem, but kind of big leaf. Let me see. The floor leading off of the road. So the road was like tar road, and then it kind of there was like a little miniature bridge, and it showed like on the bottom of the underneath the bridge there was water, but you can tell that it wasn't like salt water, it was like fresh water. So the floor for that, I don't know if it was concrete or wood, but like it looked like the different colors of wood planks, and there was a roof, but it wasn't like four walls and a thing. It was kind of like, I'm gonna explain this one. Like just like wood logs holding up the roof. And even the roof didn't have like a roof. It was kind of the just like the outline of the roof. Let me see. Let me move over here. See if there's light better light. Um why do you do this? Okay. No. The lighting is wild. It's whack. Okay. So I go to there and I'm walking and like I'm kind of just like walking and viewing, and there's this lady, and she's a black lady, and she had she had this like dress, this like type of dress. She How do I explain the dress? Like it was like that type of dress where like you have to tie it in the back, and like it's held by like a little like pendant type of thing, and then the actual like cloth is, all the way down, and she had I always forget the name of those. It's not a do-rag, but it's like this more like wax wrap type of deal. And she had it where her hair was like tied up, and the big that special knot they do with the fabric like in the front right here. I don't remember seeing her like facial features, but I do remember what her outfit was. And she was this black lady, and then my friend came, like she finally saw what the shop was, and I started getting a closer look like at the plants. And there was this cute little planter, and it was like an eggplant planter, and it just had dirt in it. It didn't have anything in it. There probably was a seed in there, but like it just didn't sprout yet, and it was super cute. It was like a little eggplant thing, and it was super super cute. And I think I picked it up, and I was like, "Hey friend, look at this!" And I think she saw it in the dream, and then I kind of like woke up from that. Like I saw the um my ancestor, and then like I woke up after that. So yeah, ancestors are cool. Hello. Okay, I thought my laptop frizzed out again, but yeah, that's like one of the 500 dreams I've had all this entire year. Dreams are wild, yo. Pisces, Neptune and Pisces is a wild thing to have. But yeah, so to continue on, so this last planet is Pluto. Um, Neptune and Pluto, like since they're the furthest out of the planets, they tend to take a longer time to move through the what are they called? Move through the houses and the zodiac signs. So if I remember correctly, I believe my generation has Pluto in Sagittarius. I don't remember what that transit does specifically, but I do know that like that's what my generation has. Um, Pluto, it leads through like Pluto is kind of the ruler of transformation, subconscious, like the subconscious, secrets, inner growth or destruction, depending on I think it's depending on the retrograde, or if it's whether it's in retrograde or whether it's not in retrograde. And it also retrogrades annually. I don't remember if I said Neptune, but Neptune also retrogrades annually. Um, yeah, so this year, if I remember correctly, Pluto should be in Capricorn. I almost forgot the word. It should be in Capricorn. And a interesting, surprising thing about this transit, America's birth, um, like 1776, Pluto was also in Capricorn. So a cool thing that I learned today, uh, America is having its Pluto. I forget the word. like it's Pluto's revolving back to the Capricorn, and when it hits a specific degree in Capricorn, when the same day and the same time that United States was like conceptualized, when it became like an actual country, that's when you have that's when Pluto is going to be tested. Like that's when the transit and the I'm forgetting my words. Oh no. That's when like Pluto is going to be truly like tested out for the United States. That's kind of like the testing line for the United States is what I'm trying to say. So, let me see. There's a specific conjunction that happens like every I think believe it's every 80 years where we have some type of conflict happening, and that conjunction is going to happen very soon. I don't know how soon, but it is going to happen very soon. And especially since we have Pluto coming up in this conjunction, it's going to very, really, really test the nation, and it's going to be a little bit alarming. Um, it could be in a year, it could be next week, it could be in a month, it could be I don't know 5 years, it could be 10 years, but it's a very, very alarming thing to know and to be worried about and see unfurl. Like it's not like an insider, like, oh, this is insider information. You guys can't know. No, like I'm still learning how um planets and like how astrology works with like our everyday lives. Like we already know that Mercury retrograde is like kind of like the ones that we like really see, like we truly see happening. Is it gonna do the light thing? Excuse me. That's like the one that we pretty much know on the spot. Like, oh, Mercury's in retrograde. That's kind of like a world known thing. But yeah, these are like the lesser known type of deals. Um, I'm actually going to look into America's natal chart. I want to see like what we're supposed to be dealing with. Uh, I remember earlier in the year we had like so many people saying like, "Oh, we have these three transits going on, and like these 3 to 5 transits going on." And the last time one of these transits happened was like 300 years ago, and there was another one that happened 100 years ago, which is the coronavirus one, the virus one actually. So it was like 300 years ago, 100 years ago, 80, 10 years, 2 years, like all these different time estimates, and I'm like, that's wild, yo. I'm gonna click on this meme and just pretend I didn't see that. Like that's what I did all year. Oof, this year has been something else. But yeah, okay, so that's Pluto. I don't remember what Pluto is the leader for zodiac signs. Um, I want to say it's Scorpio, but it might not be Scorpio. Because Scorpios tend like they tend to be known like maybe not really well known for it, but they do tend to hold like not they don't hold secrets, but they do like how do I explain this one? They're kind of pretty like they're good for like growing out of their shell, like how scorpions when they molt, if they do molt, like they do try to look at things differently, and then if they feel like they've grown enough, they'll just get out of their exoskeleton and just start the process again. But Pluto takes like such a long time to do that that who knows. All I know is that we as humans, we're not that advanced yet to be able to see that that Pluto it's not retrograde. Oh no. When Pluto does the revolution thing and it goes back to that exact degree. We're not gonna well, as far for now, maybe later down in time, we might actually have somebody in this generation be able to live longer than what is expected, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so that's all the planets and all the bodily fluids. Pluto's sister. Who's Pluto has a sister? Pluto has a sister? What is Pluto's sister? I actually don't know who Pluto's sister is. Because I was going to move to oh a twin planet. Okay, okay. I didn't know Pluto had a sister. I'm kind of using like the more I guess it's traditional. I don't think it's traditional. It might be traditional. Pluto dance. I'll have to I actually have to look that up. Let me see. The astrology that I use, I haven't heard of Pluto's sister unless is it Eris? Yeah, I have never heard of Eris before. Yeah, I haven't heard of Eris. Um, the astrology that I use, like we don't, it doesn't, not we, it doesn't really go into depth like of every single celestial body that's in the solar system. It just does like the nine major ones that we can see with the naked eye, just short, or even with a telescope, but just short before like modern technology where we can like really get those huge telescopes and get the detail of everything. Um, there are four meteors, but I only use like I use one at most, sometimes two. And the one that I use is Chiron. I kind of want to look into Eris because oh no, Eris is used. It's Eris and one more, Juno, I think. Yeah, Juno. Juno, Eris, Capricorn, and Capricorn, Chiron, and Ceres. So Chiron is in ancient Greek mythology, I believe. I might have that wrong, but it's I think it's ancient Greek mythology. Um, it is a centaur. Chiron is a centaur. So this centaur had, I believe it was issues. It had issues with like bodily, not bodily fluids, but like it had issues with just bodily things in general. Um, why am I so dark? Ah, excuse the lighting. I'm so sorry. um, but yeah, it's kind of like the wounded healer. That's what it is. That's what I was trying to remember what it was. Chiron is the wounded healer. So in my um how do I explain this? In my specific natal chart, I have Chiron in Sagittarius. So that could mean that I need to find healing in I don't know, moving away from situations or just moving in general or just, something to do with movement or something to do with oh, excuse me, like moving through emotions or something like that. It's like it has something to do with healing a part of yourself that once you heal that, you're able to heal like um other people. Like the I guess like the catch would be that it's not a thing that you can always heal. It's something that you always have to work on. So that's what Chiron is. And then Ceres, I just learned of this one today. Ceres is another zodiac. Ceres is another meteor. And this one is named after the goddess of agriculture. And Ceres follows how we nurture ourselves through specifically through like food and agriculture and all these different like things related to to food. It's also the ruler of like female life. I'm assuming it's gonna be like um menstruation, like the female cycle of when we have when we ovulate, when we do all these different things. And then nurturing, like how we nurture others. It's kind of like the I want to say Venus, but it's more specific to like the I guess the feminine way of nurturing this occurs in men and women. It's not specifically only to females. Well, the menstruation thing, yes, but like the nurturing thing is kind of in everybody. I couldn't find how often this one retrogrades. I think Chiron retrogrades like if it's not once a year, it's like a couple times a year, like Mercury. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is pretty much it for all the planets. It took an hour. It really should have just taken 30 minutes. But yeah, this is what I have for now. Um, this is kind of like my not my deep dive, but it's kind of like my surface. Oh, okay, this is how the planets work. This is I kind of understand the planets now. This has like a better idea of what's going on. So that should be it for this video or for this live stream. Technically, I haven't been able to do video like recordings because I don't have it on me. It's on the table. I don't feel like getting up. The device that I record with, it doesn't work properly, so I have to fix it and I have to figure out if I just need to get a new device or if I just need to do something else. But yeah. Um that should be it. I'm not too sure what I'll do tomorrow. I know I missed like 3 days worth of video recording. I don't know how I'm gonna how I'm gonna work that out, but I will figure something out. Um yeah, that is it for today's video slash live stream thing. If you guys have any like suggestions after this live stream ends, please feel free to comment it in the little comment section. Hopefully it opens up. If it doesn't open up, I'll try to figure out a way to open it. But if you guys want to learn if you want me to try to learn something new, just let me know because I'm always willing to learn and I'm always happy to learn. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Um, leave a comment, subscribe if you want to watch me fool around with astrology and tarot and all this fun stuff. So, yeah. I'll see you guys later. Bye.